exciting. Who doesn't want to sit through this? Looks like my encirclement here is still in place. That's good. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I'll take it. Okay, I'm very happy with that. Alright, it's 15,000. It's not a lot, but for up north here, that's a good result. I'm going to move these guys, the 18th and the 5th, back up to guard against this sort of nonsense or something. Alright, I want to leave this open. I moved them up. They cannot move up any farther north. I would love to get these guys back up there. I don't want to move these guys, which I could and still can next turn. Let's say if they suddenly have other Soviet armies appearing here to block them. But I'd rather leave this open because these guys are getting their entrenchment bonus for sitting there. So my next move is I'm going to try and cut these guys off by taking over this swamp square or hex. But in order to do that, I've got to shove these guys out of here first. So we're going to begin with this. And that will be overpowered, but we'll turn something off. Something like the 12th Infantry. Okay, so that's as far as I could move him forward. I can't get into there. I did move a unit down here to complete the cutoff. I don't want to take units out of Vyborg here because look what we're up against here, and they'll definitely push. And that's the most important hex to keep safe. So we're done with the Finns. All right, getting back to Army Group North. I want to continue this encirclement here. They did put somebody there. Well, it's okay, we'll be able to get around them. Do a little bit of football blocking on this side. And now that we've taken this over, I see this 8th Army here in Army Group Central. I want to destroy that if I can, that headquarters. Again, 16th Army is moving in this direction. And the 4th Panzers, eventually I want them to get across to this side of the river, whether that's to come through Riga and come down or go across through Jakobstadt. That's another question. But their purpose is to get across and then open up these cities here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to take Riga either this turn or next turn. We'll see. I'm going to move. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is push this guy. Maybe not, actually. What's more important here? Come to think of it, I believe what I'll actually do, because there's fewer people here, there's just the garrison. We'll have to see. I can get more units on target there as well to go after this city. And that looks pretty good. And we're up against, what, 43? Let's give it a go. Okay, good. So they got out of there, which is fine with me. I will now take the city, encircle them, and either this turn or next turn be able to attack again and destroy them. Okay, so move forward. These guys will not get out. It's very unlikely. There's 67 versus 146. I might be able to destroy them, but I might also throw myself upon the spikes, so to speak. So I'm going to leave them there a turn. There's nothing to be really gained by going after them this round. I'd rather their supply run out, in between the turns and be able to attack them. And even if I win, the most I could move is to take over that hex. Well, who cares? right? That's not really strategic. I don't think they're protecting Window, and I'm going to move the other greens kind of in this direction. Okay, I moved a couple units here, these guys, this guy, and what I'm going to try and do is push this one out of the way so that I can encircle this, even if it means I have to run a panzer unit into the neighboring territory for a turn. As long as I don't attack with him, I should be okay and be able to drive back into Army Group North territory, but we'll see. I can get some panzer units up here and hopefully begin to go after this as well. So I'm going to go and make these moves. Okay, so we've still got some 3rd Panzer Group units down here which I want to move up, but and even though we've got tons of fuel for this army group, it's still it's awfully far away, and so I'm just going to attack this unit to move it, and that's fine, so that we can make our little encirclement of this headquarters happen. Please tell me it's happening. Alright, so I'll take the city and we'll come back. Alright, so we've moved a couple units up here, surrounded this headquarters. I don't think a lot of units will be able to attack. If 3 are able to attack, we'll be lucky, but I think 2. Oh. Alright. Including some that we don't want to attack because I want them, like the headquarters. Nope, I do not want you attacking. 26th and 5th. If I can get them out of there, that would be great. I'd love to get them out of that corner. I believe that's sufficient. I mean, it's versus 5, so we're already way overpowered here. And so it's probably like 100 people or something from the staff officers. Oh, 250. Okay. So they hadn't been hurt yet. So that's good for our score. I'm going to move these blue units out of here in this direction. Because they were not used in the attack, they're quite fresh, and I want them heading towards Minsk. We will attempt to encircle this, but I don't know if I've got the units in place to do it, and the mobility. We'll see. I can certainly get them from this side, but all that'll do is push them that way if I attack. So let me make these moves. Okay, so in the process of moving these 3rd Panzer Group units out, I discovered the 1st Cavalry could move into the swamp from the 2nd Panzer Group, which is good because none of these motorized units could do that. And now I just need to stick another unit there. But if I used 3rd Panzer, it would be out of command range. So we will use a 2nd Panzer Group unit to do that particular job. And that will give us an encirclement of this. It's a little much, don't you think? Yeah, I'm going to turn off some of these folks because they're just not necessary. You know, remember, you don't need to make every attack that you possibly can in this game because it will wear out your units. And they just don't come back, you know? Ooh, I should check for reinforcements in my cards, but usually that happens after we capture Minsk. So, 6,800 and change. And I'm going to continue making the moves. The, what is this, the 14th Army, I think? Where's their headquarters? It's up here. 4th Army. They'll continue to come along this way. 2nd Panzers will come through here. The objective is to get to Minsk now. 2nd from the south, 3rd from the north, and we'll see how that goes. And then these guys as the hammer. We will have to kind of pour out through this opening down through the swamp on the other side. Wow, that's so far away to Gommel. and coordinating with the 6th Army here, who I'll have creeping along here and coming around. This swamp is just terrible. And as I said in a previous episode, I have wasted a lot of energy trying to push the whole front as a straight line, north-south, out in this direction. And I can get to Orel and Tola and Kursk and all that stuff, but it's kind of pointless. It's better to create a line that protects this highway, basically, and railroad track, and push along that to get to Moscow. It's only early July, so as long as that looks, as far as that looks, we will actually get there. And I've got to go back up to Army Group North here and do some things with this. Okay, so we can see a couple of issues here now that I've moved everybody up. I've stacked this. We could actually attack. Maybe I will. We'll see in a second to start, because I could isolate these guys and destroy them, but that'll be next turn. But I do have some units in here who can still attack. This guy's popped into visibility here. But the biggest thing we can see is we just moved our forward supply base, remember that, and didn't have fuel for a while. We're still running trucks like crazy, and it's not great. I can't wait till we capture Minsk, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're really at the limit, or getting close to the limit of our supply chain here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it's getting bad up here, So Grondo, for example, would be a much better choice, but I wasn't given that option, and we had to do something because Warsaw was so far back. Now, if we turn the supply layer on, everything's still green, so that's good. But it is something that I want you to pay attention to if you're going to play the game, because if I didn't move this forward supply base soon, particularly after capturing Minsk, we'd be in trouble as we tried to get towards Orsha here, though. So now I'm going to go back up and deal with Army Group North. So it's interesting to see how in these areas that are near the Army Zone borders, how you have to kind of switch back and forth mentally and do some here and then go back, because moving these around, or these on this side, these units, to block certain things is important. So now we're going to go back and look at the capturing of Riga, possibly, and moving up in this direction. Alright, so I believe this is a critical location to take, because from there we can go back down here with our panzer group and isolate these guys, etc., etc. I've moved a couple of army or infantry units up to football block. We'll have to fill this area in shortly as well. I could go for this, but that doesn't really help all that much. I am going to attack Riga. And let's see what I've got to work with here. There's no concentric, but we do outnumber them. And we are motorized. Now, something that I haven't done, actually, which I'm going to do right now, before, is we have the ability to affect some of these things. I've clicked on them a little bit. I want to make sure these guys don't retreat. So I'm going to force them to keep attacking until they're completely destroyed. And this is usually something you want to do when you are surrounding somebody and you don't want to let anyone sort of create a hole in the balloon or bag for somebody to get out of. All right, let's do this and see what happens. I hope I brought enough guys. Garrisons are tough to dislodge. Good. Okay. Good. Now, let's see what that cost me. So it cost me quite a few of our tanks, some heavy infantry, about 8-9% of the people who showed up at the front. They did good. They did well. in terms of casualties inflicted, but we cannot afford to do things like this. I'm going to turn them back to 50. So this is good. I'm gonna move up some of these folks to blockade, keep this highway open, and I will resume once I've set up, probably to bring this army up and start attacking these guys. Okay, turns out I can attack this unit, and I think I want to. How does that turn out? I mean, that's pretty good for us. It probably won't take too many casualties. He said, hopefully. Alright, that gives us a little more room. Yeah, we did look at that. That was totally worth it. And we took no casualties and inflicted a lot on that unit. So I will move a few things. We'll probably try and surround this, but we'll see. Okay, now that I've driven the Soviets out of this area, I feel comfortable moving all the 16th Army forward. Some of these guys were only able to move one step forward, but that's okay. And I've got a couple units here that can attack into this space, and they ought to be able to succeed here without too much trouble. It's the slowest mortar firing, etc. ever. Alright, so I mean, this is a bit of a grind. We just continue along, moving forward. So, by taking Riga, I mean, this is good. We can push out into here and start coming after these guys from the rear, and keep pushing forward with this, and leave the 18th Army to take care of this nonsense up here. Maybe with a little help from a panzer division or two, but this peninsula should be taken in the next round or two. Then I'll probably rest the 18th Army. We may get hung up here a little bit. We'll see. I don't know. This is not as strong as it looks. I clicked on it. I think there's 150 in terms of firepower strength there, so it's not that great. And we can break out and start coming down this way. I believe we did Army Group Central already, so now I'm going to go to the far south. Okay, here we are. 4th Romanians. Typical job, head towards Odessa. Looks like there's a chance we can encircle something here. Southern Army headquarters. I need to get the 11th Army across this river into here. That bridge is broken, which really sucks. That means that supply is going to be bad over here until we get that fixed. However, I think it's a good idea to get over there. But that probably means we have like 2 rounds of being able to do something before we run out of supply. So if I can hop across there, block this thing off, and not attack with those units, but just keep them from escaping out of this hex here, that would be pretty good. I do not want to overextend the 11th Army too much. That's tempting, but I think it's the, what army is that? 17th Army will come sweeping down here, and they'll take more ground than you think once we get rid of this heavy unit here. And 3rd Romanians can stay in place there, or maybe come south a little bit if I feel that they must. Because again, I want these units close to this headquarters, right? This is about as far out as I want them to be. So I'm going to get to work on the encirclement of this and moving these guys up, and I'll get back to you in a sec. Okay, so we're set up for the encirclement, and wasn't able to do a whole lot with these other than move them across. They're not able to attack back or anything, but they're doing their job. So we'll be able to attack with 3 or 4 of these, and that's all right with me. So number them 5 or 6 to 1, 5, and we've achieved the result that we want. That's good, and the cost was not so great. And now I've got to get 4th Romanians. So I only had to move a couple of those units there, right? But I need the rest of them to be catching these guys and shoving them back towards the river. And move the 11th Army headquarters up because we needed to block this hole that I opened up. And not sure what I'm going to do with these guys. I'm probably just going to leave them right where they are because we're not being attacked or anything. But again, the idea of rushing forward and attacking just because you can is not a good idea in this game. I can wait. I can wait to get these guys until that 17th Army in the north there comes down for them. Okay, I can't move these guys, at least in the direction that I want. I would enclose them here, but I can push this air unit back. Once again, we do not want headquarters involved in fighting. Notice I have my my blue light filter on, which is going to make everything darker. So if you notice that it is darker, that is the reason why. Okay, we'll be able to move forward a little bit and cut these guys off even more. Okay, so that's what that looks like now. Next turn I'll be able to completely surround them next to the river there. They'll still hop across it to escape, but pushing them out of this area is good. That bridge has got to get fixed. I mean, that's trouble. Until that gets fixed, we're going to have an issue. See, you can already see supply is not good over there. All right, I'm going to look at the 11th Army a little more, see what I can do around here. Probably nothing up here, and a little adjustment here or there or something, and then we'll move north. So there is a great temptation to wheel around with the 3rd Romanians, cut off these guys this way and smash them with the 11th Army, this half up here, but that will extend us so greatly. Plus there's more troops up here. You can bet they're defending this particular city. It looks like they've already blown the bridge there. It would just extend what I'm doing here with no real wind to it. There's no big wind to be had there, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, the north side of Army Group South. I am going to deal with the piece that I know, which is moving the 6th Army. 6th Army is going to come down towards Rovno here, but a few units, 2 or 3 units, are going to creep along this part of the borderline. And this area usually has pretty good supply. I may have to bring an Army Group Central unit, 1 unit down here to go along. That it's going to be an infantry unit to go along there, but it's usually not worth it. It's usually a real pain. But somehow we are going to have to dislodge this guy. I doubt he's going to come rushing forward and try and disrupt the supply line, but if he does, we can get some mobile units back pretty quick. But as I said, this area in the early part of the game to the mid-game is the biggest pain in the ass area. And I've tried many different ways of dealing with it, but the supply gets so bad in there, and I've had units get completely stuck where they're unable to move turn after turn, and yeah, maybe you can transport them out, maybe you can't with that card there. Speaking of which, let's see if my... No, I've got that high octane card, but no new troops yet. And that's typical. That usually doesn't happen until Minsk. Okay, so let me move these guys. Okay, so it turned out the enemy is not defending Rovno. I was able to move in without firing a shot. I am very careful to keep these guys still in command radius. It's not great. It's not great, but it's fine. And I don't think being there with the headquarters would make that much of a difference. They're probably not going to fight anyway, not until later. Their job is to just keep pushing along up there, and I've got 2 units in there. Thought about a 3rd unit, but these guys tend to run out of supply. Let's take a quick look at supply. And just merely by moving forward, I've improved the supply line here, because some of these hexes were, lighter colors before I moved down here. So that's good. Next thing to do, now that I've got that in place, is I have got a 2-parter. One, I've got to kind of block in here somehow to keep these guys from coming forward. And cut these guys off in here and destroy them while moving the 17th Army forward. Our big goal here is this city here, Proskuro. It's got a great airfield. It's a good forward supply base when we're able to get it. It's probably 2 or 3 turns from now, but it's very useful. Okay, so haven't done very much. First thing I did was move a unit forward 2 spaces because it's still within the command zone of 17th headquarters, and I've discovered that they are indeed protecting this area. So that's fine. That just tells me, move a couple guys to line up here, and we're good. And maybe I'll move these guys further to the south. They certainly can come down to here quite easily, because the headquarters is there. So we'll do that. Okay, now we've got this blocked off. I'm quite happy with that. They are not going to try and assert themselves here and break through. Now I may move 1st headquarters, Panzer Group headquarters south. We'll see. This is our limiting factor up here. He needs to remain in supply range, but I can probably move 1 or 2 hexes to the south, which is plenty. The annoying thing is going to be moving some of these guys across the river, which is, that's going to create problems, possibly. I should probably only move tank units there, because as soon as we get away from the main roads and the rain comes, which it's threatening to in the meteorological report, probable but not likely. Thank you guys for the double speak. These guys will get stuck. They will get stuck in this hex or this hex, anywhere but here, basically, this kind of hex. The black one is, remember, the German rail. The red is the Soviet rail that's wider and needs to be changed up. So let's continue with the encirclement. Okay, so it's not going to happen this turn, the full encirclement. I just don't have enough units, and so I moved the Hungarians across, even though they're a motorized unit, because they were the only unit that could get to this particular hex, and I was hoping I'd get somebody to be able to go there, but I don't. And you can see that mountain is impassable for them or us. We've got this blockade. I've moved the 17th Army headquarters over to here so that it's a little better range. How's this? These guys are still in command range. We can attack and push. I don't know. I'm going to try something, actually. I'm going to see if I can attack this hex. We've certainly got a couple of units that I believe are able to do it. Nope. Niet. It's tempting to... Nope. Damn. Can't do it. Okay. So... I wonder, can they back out? These guys can definitely back out. I don't want them leaking out in this direction. I also don't want to attack with everybody just to have a big bloodbath here, and then they retreat across the bridge, and that's gone. and then I just have to do it again next turn. So this is one of those trade-offs, right? Of do you attack now? And I think I'm going to wait. Discretion being the better part of valor and all that. We've got the Vikings as well. I'll figure out something to do with those two. All right, I think that's about it for units, right? Let's go to our decisions. Will we, sorry, misclick. Will we exploit the oil fields? Of course we will. So Austrian oil fields, we've got some small oil fields. Could we do something with them for political points to get 4 times improvement almost, 3 times? So I'm doing it. It's going to take us a long time, 60 days. 60 days. That's forever, but got a good relationship with the evil man there. All right, fuel deliveries are not. I love the tone of some of these. Sort it out. Bang some heads together, man. So, in order to deal with these scheduling issues, we could give it to our boss, which is probably not going to turn out well. Ask either the train guy or the truck guy to deal with it. Call a meeting, and leave it alone. They'll figure it out, you know. So, and these have very high costs, right? But if I don't deal with it, von Bach is going to really not like me. He's going to be mad at me. If I ask one of these guys to deal with it, I'm going to lose points with them. So if one of them is in so deep badly that it's not going to make any difference, then I would set it on him. Or if somebody was so far ahead, that guy's not far ahead. How about this guy? We're at a dead even. So there's no big plus here. I'm going to call a meeting because I've got so many points that it's okay. And we want to roll high. So the schnapps did the job. The problems with scheduling have been resolved. So we rolled a 63. Whew. And both the guys are happy. So that really worked out. That's good. Okay, unexpected fuel use. What do you? I'm shocked. I'm shocked to hear it. What do you expect? So the figures before me are unbelievable. Basically, you're using so much fuel trying to attack. What are you going to do? So I can please the supply guys, or I can please my commanders and my boss. I do not want penalties on my attacks, which is what's going to happen here. And I'm going for my objectives, so I'm going to go ahead here. He's not pleased. I probably just, well, it did, okay, I didn't lose anything except fuel. A lot of logistic stuff right now, as you see. Signaling Army Group North. You know, we need to put the stuff back in place, the infrastructure that we've been blasting through. And your choice is do nothing, which is bad. Keep going, which will please my boss, but not the signal guys. And or put them back together. What could be more important than precise traffic management on the railway network? Well, I happen to agree, being an operations guy. Now remember what I said, please the logistics guys early, recover your relationships with your commanders later. So, Gerks, please. Keitel, who I don't care about, is not. Keitel has no impact on me. So, some trucks have been captured, some Soviet trucks. What are we going to do with them? The order was to hand them over to the truck guy, but we could please our local area commander by leaving half the trucks, but that'll piss off my supply guy. So I'm going to go with hand the trucks over for now. And Von Lieb, he's already annoyed at me. What's the difference? And I've got my supply chain up to at least good, so that's good. Extra artillery. Okay. So ammunition is the biggest thing. Let's not increase these shells. And I'm just going to go with a small increase. And my field commander is pleased, but my supply guy is not. So, did that work well? I don't know. And that one came down from strong. So, I'm not going to risk overloading the rail network on this one then, now that I have learned. And, yeah. My field commanders are starting to really not like me. So, my wife's cousin. Okay, so Braukic's wife's cousin happens to be my chief of staff. And he's like, "You deal with it," So we can have a doctor sedate him. Sometimes I think there's electroshock therapy as an option. We can transfer him, which Braukic will countermand immediately and be annoyed at me. I'm going to go tell him you understand. I think that has a good chance. Do we want to roll high or low here? Okay, that didn't. I guess that worked. I know. The bad outcome was the lower 50%. So, it's not great. Looks like we're going to get behind a commendation here, which is good. And, yep, I'm going to support it. Every time I can support it, if I have the points, I will do that. All right, and now some decisions. What are we going to do here? So, Army Group Central, Grando as an airfield. We can move it to Grando, or we can leave it where it is. I certainly think we should move it forward. We're probably not going to capture Minsk for 2 more turns. And we'll get this back, I think, after a turn. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to write it down in my book. Army Group Central Air is Grando. Okay. You want to write it down because you're gonna look later and you're not going to be able to find it or know. Okay. They want to move the forward supply base to Kaunas. The rail effort is really low. That's good. Remember, we lose fuel supply for 2 turns if we do this, though. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to have a look. Panzer groups are there now. Okay, so the real question is what's going to happen 2 turns from now. Okay? That is the real question. Now, where I really want it is here, or here, or here, or Ostrov. But Ostrov is like 2 or 3 turns after I take this city. I'll be able to get up there with some very aggressive panzer handling in that. And this swamp is very annoying. So we're nowhere near that. So they want to move it to here, which is still really far away. If I wait a turn or so, I think I can get them to put it at Riga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, it's not bad. It's better for the 18th Army. I mean, that's a long way from there to there or there. But look at how far the trucks are going. They're already going so far. So the question is, if I get asked next turn, hey, would you like to put it in Riga? Waiting will have paid off. If I don't, I'm punishing myself because this line is just getting longer and longer and longer. Let's see how our supply looks. It looks okay for the moment. So I'm going to wait. And hopefully they'll ask me next turn whether I want it to be Riga or not. And who knows, I may have captured something else by then. So decided not to decide. All right, and our final one. Army Group South Forward Supply Base. Okay, they want to move it to Lvov. That's probably a good idea. We're still in the west. Where is it now? Krakow. Okay. The Panzer Group is there. I'm going to take another look here, because this is too important to leave to. I need to see where my units are, in placement here. I can't just make a decision based on a flag on a map. And so we will be taking that fairly soon, that Ternopil. Why are you not scrolling? Scroll. Yeah, we're quite a ways from this. from Proskuro. We will get to Kiev. This will actually occur fairly quickly, I think. I always think of Camp Zhytomyr for some reason. Summer camp at Camp Zhytomyr. This will occur fairly quickly once we get past this nonsense right here. Yeah, I'm tempted to do it. This one I will do. Oops. Make sure, click carefully here. Okay, and that's Army Group South, ground to Lvov. Okay. And 2 turns without fuel, and we're already low on fuel, so that's kind of okay because we've already got our guys in place, and there won't be a lot of maneuvering here. This is generally going to stay still for at least 1 turn. All right, let's turn our music back on, because it won't be interrupted by pausing. And let's end our turn. And let's see what the cats get up to. Oh, there will definitely be leakage this way, but I think they'll get to that square or hex. Well, I like the pausing and moving and looking a lot better given frame weights. That we're achieving here. Very tentative. Okay. Trying to cut us off, but that's okay. The more they split themselves up, the more I'll be able to push them back, take them apart piecemeal. See, we're actually really close to Minsk here. This is quite soon what's happening. We'll finish this encirclement, and we'll come over the top with the 3rd Panzer Group and around the bottom with the 2nd, cut them off and destroy them. Yeah, they can get a lot of conscripts coming up in the south here. It's pretty disturbing. But that 17th Army, once we get down to around here, the whole situation changes quite a bit, and then you've got to decide what side of the river you want to be on. And coming from Kiev, where the Panzer Group is likely to be, it really changes things. So they're not, I mean, they've moved a little bit. I think they moved a couple units to the south there, but not as much as I thought. And they're pulling out. I left a garrison there, but that's about it. And that's okay. We have elements of the 17th Army ready to surround that thing. And then pretty soon we'll be down south there. This is ferry traffic for supply in addition to railroads. It's off right now, but I'm probably going to get asked next turn about, hey, how about sending some stuff up to Riga? And that will take 2, 3, or 4 trains worth of stuff every turn, so that works for me. What are they up to here? They're doing something weird. They're really piling up on that side of the river. That's fine though. You guys, you make your stacks as big as you want because I will surround them and take them out. Okay, good. I think they retreated in the south of Army Group Central. They're in that swamp, that really long trail through the swamp. Hate that thing. And that's good. That's a good part of the game in terms of design, right? It's this challenge, and gosh, I tried it so many different ways, probably 4 or 5 different ways through 6 or 7 playthroughs before finally getting the idea of just leaving it alone to some respect. Like, wow. It's like, hey, you know, there's enemy soldiers down there, right? Yeah, but nothing I can do about it right now. Huh. Third Army retreats at headquarters. Whew, that was a pretty good turn, though. In terms of setup for the next one, I'm very happy with it. I wonder if we'll get a Hugo update. Some of those can be quite shocking. Ah, yeah, again, this is the the diary from Halder. My response is, I will destroy them any way I can. But yes, the idea was don't destroy your tanks doing that. Okay, a lot of decisions again. That's a little scary. And, oh, we never assigned tactical air support. We could do that. Alright, we'll do that next turn. Yeah, we're getting close to refit. That's probably what a lot of these are. No, not yet. More captured trucks, rail infrastructure. Well, you know how I'm going to come down on those. Boy, there's a lot of my field commanders are going to hate me, and the problem is that's going to severely affect my my political points as we go here. Interesting, interesting. Well, the big boss likes me. That's what's important right now. Usually under these logistics things we'll see something about bridges, and I would like to see, yeah, destroyed bridge, location 4063, rebuilt, excellent. Wherever that's somewhere around Lvov in Army Group South. So that sort of thing is what we're looking for when we see a broken bridge. We've destroyed 9 Army headquarters and 60 divisions through the Ostfront, so not doing too shabby. I don't know what this means, but maybe if you can do enough playthroughs, I don't know. We can start let's see. Yeah, the strategic is climbing, tactical is good, logistics is good. What do you expect? And yeah, that number's got to go up. But I haven't captured a lot yet. I've captured a lot of ground, but not cities. But we're about to capture a whole bunch of cities, especially in the north. And let me terrify myself by looking at the fuel for on the way out. Remember we moved the forward supply base a bit. I mean, this is awful what's happening in Army Group South here, and that's the move to Lvov. It's just, we're going to have nothing. This is doing pretty good here in Central, and that's good because we need it. But this is falling. We're going for trains. Pretty steady. I don't know what's going on in Army Group Central. Probably broken bridges and not enough track converted. Truck columns. Fairly steady. Not happy with what I'm seeing in Army Group South, but we've spread them out quite a bit. Alright, well that's it for this time, and look forward to playing some more and seeing you in the next turn. Thanks for watching.